welcome to Planet Hex. I'm Andrew Horn. You may know me as the author of books VHS Ate My Brain and VHS Ate My Brain 2 The Revenge, and a bunch of other stuff besides comics, books, and all kinds of stuff like that, and lots of magazines throughout the past. Today I'm going to talk about physical media and the fact that it still ain't dead. I'm pleased about that because, being a VHS collector, I need physical media. That's something I really enjoy. I've always enjoyed it. But in recent years, in recent months and weeks, I have found myself branching out into other forms of physical media as well and finding that they are just as sought after and people are just as excited about them is really, really cool. So being able to find out that people enjoy cassettes, people enjoy DVDs, that surprises me a bit because I didn't think DVDs would ever have that sort of emotional attachment. But I think with DVDs, there has been an increase in people being interested in picking lots of them up because they are cheap, they are easy to find, and they make things available to you that streaming services keep behind a paywall that you may not want to commit to. I have spoken about my issues with streaming media before. I understand the need for it, but I don't really like the idea of being watched when I am watching something. If I watch a movie, I know the algorithm is going to pick up on that I've enjoyed that, and it's going to pick up other things to advertise to me. I don't like there being someone else involved. If I'm going to watch something, if I'm going to listen to something, I want that to be between me and the thing that's been created as entertainment. I don't want it to feel like I'm sat in someone's room and someone's going, "You're going to love this bit. This is the best. You are going to love this bit. Wait. Here it comes. Here's the twist." I just don't like the idea of being observed while being entertained. It doesn't sit well. But finding out across my research into looking into VHS tapes and people being interested in those, I have discovered that other forms of physical media are, while not having an enormous comeback to the size of, say, vinyl did and not changing to fit that market, there is still interest in them. Blu-rays are a good example. Blu-rays have been around a while now in terms of media, and there's a lot of interesting things being done with those. There are a lot of companies up in the game in terms of extras, in terms of slipcase, in terms of editions, in terms of remastering jobs on older stuff. That's the sort of thing that makes things viable and interesting to audiences that may already have those titles in their collection. But I think that's a really good thing because it is giving people that want physical media something to collect and something to look forward to, and it's also preserving these things when they may disappear off streaming services, which a lot of things do. It happens very, very regularly. You may look for something you want to watch, and then you may find that it's been removed from a service and is nowhere to be found. So I did a little research tonight looking at what has been going on in physical media in recent times. Let's go take a look. So the first story that came up that I thought might sound interesting was this: vinyl, CDs, collect physical media with an emotional connection. This resonates with me. This is on howtogeek.com, and this resonates with me because that is my primary reason I collect physical media and anything. I need an emotional connection to it. I'm not a completist with any of the things that I collect or have collected over the years, but I want there to be an emotional connection, either through nostalgia or something that speaks to an era that I am particularly interested in. In my case, it's the 80s to the early to mid 90s in terms of VHS tapes and things like that, and particularly X-Rentals, as I'm sure you are aware if you have viewed this channel before. But this story spoke to me. And covers, there's quick links here: why I choose physical media, don't follow trends and follow your heart. That is something that I think is really important in explaining the continued attraction of physical media, is that these things are tangible, they are physical, they are something that connects you to a time and a place and not just something you're flicking through endlessly. It seems very little different to me scrolling through something like Netflix or anything like that. It seems very very much similar to things like Instagram or Facebook. You're just doom scrolling. Huh, yeah, what a, yeah. And it takes away the choice. It feels like it takes away an amount of choice and an amount of participation on your part as the audience, actively seeking out something that is good or something that meets your definition of entertainment. So things like this really speak to me about the motivation behind things. Oh, there's some cool tapes there. I have a few cassettes. I've got maybe a dozen. I used to have hundreds. I have maybe a dozen of ones, a dozen that are special to me. I see one of them, actually two of those I've got, which are very particularly special to me: the Def Leppard Hysteria album and Van Halen first album. Def Leppard, my hometown heroes. I'm from Sheffield originally, and they're much beloved in that town. But this is an interesting piece, so do go check that out. That's on howtogeek.com. Now, over on billboard.com, I found this one that's, while not about the resurgence of physical media, is about how to look after your stuff. And I think that's equally important. Now, some people may wish to display them side by side on shelving. They may want to get them graded. Say if it's VHS, something, get it graded and slabbed. Or you may want to put them in a specific way, like if they were displayed in a video store or anything like that. But whatever you want, there are storage options out there for CDs, cassette tapes, and other physical media formats. If you collect CDs and cassette tapes or DVDs and Blu-rays, then shop these storage options for your growing collection. So there's some ideas there of what you can do with the shelving and how you can display these things. Some of them are cheap and cheerful, some of them are not. There's a lot of very practical ones. I like this spinning one. I do like this four-sided spinning tower. I think that's really cool. I'd love one of those. In this room, I do actually have space for that. But these are American, so I don't know how well they would be available over here anyway. But I think that's a really cool idea. That's something I could definitely get behind. So the next story I found was on faroutmagazine.co.uk. It's an English site, and this was one: cinema has a physical media problem. This was 14th of April this year. So it's talking about the differences between cinema and physical media and what people are wanting for them, wanting out of those different services, and it's taking into account streaming, as everything always will mention streaming at the moment in terms of physical media. But something this brings up is that Netflix, for example, actively avoid physical releases of their original properties. They actively avoid a cash stream, no pun intended there. But that seems a bit silly to me, because you'll see things when they're recently come out on Netflix, but then they disappear, and you've got to stick around and hope they come back one day. I guess that is pulling people into subscribing, but not being able to offer people a physical copy of something when that has been the norm for so very long. There will be people out there that want them. You could do limited runs of them. You could do small runs of them. You don't have to go all out and make an enormous run that will not sell, but you could gauge your interest in it and find out who would want them, or you could even go the heritage route and have them custom done, to order. I don't see why not. Interesting piece to check out. That's on faroutmagazine.co.uk. The next one I'm going to talk about is on thewitonline.com, and this is "Do We Still Yearn for Physical Media?" This is on April 30th this year. Says by Christopher Otto. Hey Christopher, you've got a cool name. CDs, DVDs, vinyl records, cassette tapes, newspapers, books, and other forms of physical media, just say VHS tapes, damn you. VHS was great. That are considered to be old school have been slowly fading away from public favour. Or have they? In a time where reliance on forms of technology such as cell phones and laptops has increased tremendously, physical media is becoming less and less easily available for consumers. After all, why collect CDs and vinyl when music streaming services like Spotify exist? Why go to a store and buy a DVD when the latest movies go straight to platforms like Netflix and Peacock? Well, this is what I've been talking about. This is the argument here. These things have got content has now got so easy to come by. Even if you don't have Netflix or Disney Plus and things like that, there are endless free apps like Tubi and Foursome and, oh God, what's the other one that I use a lot? Pluto and Plex and things like that. And you're never going to go short of something to watch. From different eras. There's lots of stuff from right across each era of cinema and TV that you could find and enjoy. So, are we still yearning for physical media? I think that with younger generations, their awareness of physical media and the benefits of it have been completely stripped away. So it's up to old nerds on YouTube like me to point out that these things are still great, and by buying a copy of something, you are not just buying pre-packed stuff that doesn't cost very much to create. You're buying something that is there permanently for you, and you can access it, rewatch it, enjoy it time and time again without it showing up on whatever streaming services, algorithm, AI, back end. So over on the Egalitarian, I said it right first time. There's a student voice of Houston Community College since 1974. There is a piece here from April 28th by Jacqueline Rajab, The Possible Resurgence of Physical Media and Analog Technology. Now, I'm all for this. This is a great thing to see. I love seeing pieces like this come out. However, there has been a steady resurgence in many ways for quite some time now. Look at vinyl. Look at the new generations after generations of new record players, and the market for vinyl has gone crazy. So that's not just classic vinyl that you get at record fairs and on eBay or whatever like that, but there is an appetite for new vinyl, and I see it all the time in record stores. Just like here in Nottingham, I visit HMV, I visit FOB, I visit Rough Trade. Vinyl is very, very heavily prevalent in these places, and that's really, really cool. But I don't think that younger people have quite so much awareness of a lot of it being that available, and that's no detriment to those younger people. That's not how they've been brought up. There's been a big push towards digital media for so long, but this is an interesting piece that tackles the interest and the need and the fascination with physical media. Oh, look at that, Lonesome Frog Records in Houston. That looks awesome. There's a community aspect to collecting physical media and finding something in a store, in a location somewhere, having the excitement of finding something that looks right up your street and taking it home and enjoying it in full. Not in part, not a song here or there, but enjoying a piece in full as the artist intended. And there is a lot to be enjoyed about that. So that's an interesting piece as well. So that's hccegalitarian.com. That is a good piece as well. There's one here over on gizmodo.com. I've not been on Gizmodo in a while. I used to go there like daily. I'm tired of pretending physical media isn't still better than streaming digital. And this nails it. This is from December. It's from December 2024, Boxing Day. But yeah, this talks about how cinemas are up in the air with the future of a lot of cinemas. I mean, our Cineworld here in Nottingham has closed down. I took the kids to see Thunderbolts this morning. Went to the Savoy, and I'll be going there again. Really comfy. Way cheaper than Cineworld, so of course that's going to stay open. Absolutely respect to that. But what they talk about here in this piece is that how physical media has the edge over streaming media because you're not worried about Wi-Fi dropping or something buffering or a drop in and so many different types of drops in quality, or how things can just pause or things can again disappear, how the sound and the image might not be matched up, that sort of thing. There is an important thing to think about there. By this insane, crazy, fast surge towards a lack of physical media and relying solely on digital, what happens when digital doesn't work? What happens when your router's down or your internet's down, or there's a network problem, or something is not working on the other end, say at Netflix or anything like that? What do you do then? That's where physical media comes in, because that will still be there for you. So don't abandon it yet. Don't abandon it yet at all. No streaming required is a piece I found on geekvibesnation.com. And I bring this up, this is because they seem to do a regular, this is May 2nd, so this was yesterday at the time of filming. They do a weekly piece on what's come out recently on physical media. Respect for that. Is that Jennifer Connelly? Looks like it. So that is what definitely want to check out. Go and check out geekvibesnation.com for a weekly update about physical media coming out. If you want to see what's available Go check it out. Don't just stick to the old tried and true favourites. See what isn't new and available. I've got here on the dailystar.net, thankfully not the Daily Star here in England, a piece, Nostalgia, Memory and the Power of Physical Media in a Digital World, and I completely understand this. When cleaning my room, I often find myself stumbling across little pieces of my childhood, a dusty DVD, faded Eid card, old diaries filled with doodles and half-written thoughts, a broken video game controller. This piece goes back to the stuff that I've talked about before, about how the physical media can connect you to an earlier part of your life, or where you were, what was going on in your life at that time. Do check that out if you are so inclined. There's, of course, here the sales figures for consent, GDPR. These sales figures for vinyl, CD, and cassette tapes might surprise you. This is over on soundguys.com, and this is an interesting piece, debilitating. I've had beers. I'm sorry, about what these forms of physical media are actually selling. And it may well surprise you, such as vinyl records, which increased by 9.1% last year. That's not a bad number, to be honest. Do check that out, soundguys.com. But with all these things coming up about how physical media is coming back and how there's an interest in nostalgic stuff, oh, go away, Express, please. Oh, I hate websites that do that. With this interest in nostalgia and physical media, there's always going to be these posts that come up. Brits urged to check old CDs collections for these albums worth up to £8,000. Feel free to check your collections of old CDs for something that might be worth money, but always go to eBay or anything like that and see what things have sold for, not what people are listing them for. Someone may have got a copy of, I don't know, Dookie by Green Day. You know, a first pressing CD of that up for £100. Buy it now. But no one's bid on it, and then it ends at £100 because no one's going to pay that for such a common album. No offense, Green Day. You know. But the sold stuff, the stuff that has had bids on, you will get a far better look at what things are actually worth. So do check that before you go all in. These things will just pop up all over the place. They pop up for VHS tapes, of course. They pop up for comic books and a lot of the other things that I have an interest in. But this is kind of endemic in any form of collecting. You will find this stuff all over the place. Finally, on this list of stuff for physical media devotees, I found this one on pocketlint.com. So again, I've not been to this site before, so pocket-lint.com. It's time to consider weaning yourself off streaming. I've done videos on this sort of thing before, but this is another powerful argument. Saying goodbye to streaming was the best thing I've done so far this year. Quality is superior with Blu-rays due to less compression. Boutique labels release rare films often unavailable to stream with plenty of supplemental material for movie fans and collectors. Blu-rays make movie watching a more active experience compared to streaming. This is the thing that I really miss. As I've mentioned earlier tonight, the active element is missing from streaming. You are kind of passive because you just pressing play on whatever has been presented to you by the algorithm. And to me, that doesn't help you build an interest. It doesn't help you build a knowledge. It doesn't help you build a real appreciation of things if you are just consuming what is being offered rather than seeking out things that are of definite specific interest to you. Specific directors, specific actors, genres, release companies, distributors, say it right, Andrew. There is always something different out there. So don't just rely on streaming. Take a look at things that interest you and see what is similar to those without being advertised at by an algorithm. On that note, I'm Andrew Horn. Please do like and subscribe. Please do check out the rest of the videos on my Planet Hex channel. You can also find me on a podcast, vhsAteMybrain podcast. And there's books coming. There's more VHS Ate My Brain books coming as well, and some other stuff besides. But please do like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And I look forward to talking to you on the next episode of Planet Hex.